This is page 3 of the 3.5 and 3.8 test review. Okay, the good news about this is if you've done some of our previous assignments and you watch my videos, I already went through several of these on those videos. So this section, if the following data was graphed in a scatter plot, identify which of the following would have a positive, negative, or no trend. Okay, so review of that would be, you always start with what happens first and what happens second. Okay, the thing that happens first would be on the x-axis, and the thing that happens as a result would be on the y-axis. As the x values increase, you see what's happening to the y values. If the y values are also increasing, so I'm going this way and up, it's going to go upwards, and that's a positive trend. However, if I'm going this way and getting bigger with my x values, but my y values are getting smaller, it's going to be a negative trend. The last option is if there's no relationship at all. This will be none. That's if no matter what's happening with my x values, I'm increasing or whatever, the y values are scattered and they're not showing an up or down relationship at all. So an example of this one would be number 11, a person's shoe size and the length of their hair. Well, you could have big feet and short hair, big feet and long hair. You could have small feet and big and long hair, or whatever, right? They don't have any relationship to each other, so there is no trend. The amount of chicken wings ordered as the number of guests at a party increases. Now this one, you could logically follow that and think, oh, I have more and more people hanging out at my party. I'm going to need to order more food, right? So we don't know if they're ordering chicken wings, but in this situation, there's no other food mentioned, so we can assume that they're ordering more food, and the food they're talking about is chicken wings. So we could say the more people that show up, the more chicken wings they are ordering. So that would be a positive trend. The number of questions remaining on a homework assignment as you do your homework. I'll do this over here so we can see it better. So read these problems carefully. Questions remaining. Before I start my homework, I have all the homework, so I have all the questions remaining. But the more time I spend doing the homework, I have fewer and fewer questions left. So that is a negative trend. The amount of songs you download and the memory in your iPhone. I'm pretty sure there is supposed to be the word left here. The memory left in your iPhone. Because you could take this two ways, and if you argued it one way, I could agree that there's no trend. But I think the way this is supposed to be read is the memory you have left, like the available memory. So the number of songs I download is increasing. Well, the amount of memory left, free memory left, would be decreasing. That would be a negative trend. Okay, so let's take a look at 15. Now 15 and 16, and a lot of these we did on another video, but there's something new in here called causation, which I have not talked about yet. So I'm going to talk about that right now. Okay, so we have a game skill. Like say you're playing a video game, like, I don't know, Halo or something, right? And the longer you play the game, what's going to happen to your skill level? Well, according to this, your skill level is increasing. So we see a positive trend or a positive correlation, right? So you could say, and you always name this with X first, as the hours played increases, what else is increasing? Your game skill level. But we're going to take that a little bit further. Okay? What is the correlation? Oh, I'm going to say the game skill level increases. What is the correlation? It's positive. Now here's where we go a little further. The trend line I'll go ahead and draw. We've done that before on previous videos. The trend line, actually, you know what? I think my sketch is a decent trend line right here. It kind of goes in between the data. I have a few more points above than below, actually a lot more, but I think it's okay. If I'd made even a better one, I may have gone maybe through 1 point, and you know, like that. It's something similar, right? They're very close. So it's a good estimate. Draw a trend line and use it to predict the game skill level of someone who played for 14 hours. Well, let's do that. So 14 hours is right here. Let's go up. It's approximately 11, game skill of 11. So that could be anywhere between 10 and 12, really. And if you have something a little bit different, but in that vicinity, you're okay. Is this a matter of causation or association? Okay, let me explain real quick what those are, okay, in case you missed that when I cover it in class. In the book, they talk about association and causation. Okay, an example of causation would be the number of loaves of bread baked and the amount of flour used. Okay, there's a positive correlation and also a causal relationship. As the number of loaves of bread baked increases, the amount of flour used increases. In other words, one of them directly affects the other. The more bread you bake, it directly affects how much flour is used. Okay? We'll contrast that with this one. The number of mailboxes and the number of firefighters in a city. Okay, well, there's likely to be a positive correlation because both the number of mailboxes and the number of firefighters tend to increase as the population of the city increases. But think about it in literal terms. Does installing more mailboxes literally force more firefighters to show up? No. No, there is an association there. They are associated because the population's growing, so it's a natural result that there'll be more firefighters. But the mailboxes does not directly force there to be more firefighters, right? They are associated. There's still a positive trend possibly, but it's not causation. Okay? You may have to think about that a little bit. And we're actually going to look at two examples right now. So, is the game skill level directly affected by the hours you're playing it? Yes, it's directly affected by this. So this would be causation, okay? It'd be causation because the game skill level is directly affected. It's directly affected, and it's a direct result of the time you put in playing it. Okay? Let's take a look at this other graph. We have age in years and the number of friends. Okay? So it's all about friendships. So it's pretty scattered, right? Doesn't seem to maybe have much to do with each other. Now, you could argue this other ways. You could say, you know, you have a lot of friends when you're young and in school because you're all hanging out all the time. But as you get older, you get married, you have kids, you're hanging out with fewer and fewer people. Now, some people are still, you know, real social, but most people, they kind of hang out with a closer circle of friends. So I could see this argued more than this way, but right now we're going to go by this data. So there's data somebody took, and this is what they're saying they found out. So, as the age in years increases, the number of friends shows no correlation. It doesn't show an uphill trend or a downhill trend. What is the correlation? No correlation. Is this a matter of causation or association? Really, there's not a correlation, so it's neither. You have to have a correlation. You have to have a correlation. So these may not be associated at all. They seem to have nothing to do with each other. Okay? So you can put that. They have nothing to do with each other, according to this data. Now, you could have other data that maybe argues differently. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next page and we're almost done. Okay, Coffee Joe's cocoa sales. As the temperature's increasing outside, what's happening to the cups of cocoa being sold? They are drastically going down, right? Because people don't want to drink hot chocolate on a hot day. Okay, so as the temperature increases, the cups of cocoa sold decreases. And that makes this a negative correlation. Draw a trend line and use it to predict the number of cups of cocoa sold when the temperature is 40 degrees. Okay, well 40 degrees is here. So that's somewhere in this area. Okay, let's draw our trend line. Somewhere between the data, right? But kind of between the points. There you go. And what does our trend line tell us about 40 degrees? It tells us it's around between 25 and 30 cups. Is this a matter of causation or association? Explain your reasoning. This could be a hard one. I would say, is the temperature directly telling people you can't buy any more cocoa? I wouldn't say it's directly telling people. I'm just thinking as the temperature is warmer, people are just not wanting to buy cocoa. They just don't feel like it, right? I would say it's more a matter of association. You can't say the temperature is directly saying you can buy cocoa or you can't buy cocoa, right? So yes, there is a correlation. Yes, it's negative, but it's not a direct cause. It's more of an associative cause. All right, I'll see you and good luck on the test.